What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the top 10 things that you need in your photography contract. So these are the things that I think are some of the most important things that you need in your photography contract. Now, give or take some of these things, you may not have certain stuff, or you may even want to add more than what I'm talking about. And as the longer you do photography, you'll see that you'll start to see different things come up. You'll be like, okay, I need to add something else to my contract. So it's kind of one of those things, it's always changing and evolving. So even if you don't have you feel like your contract isn't complete, as time goes by, you'll see that you can add different stuff in your contract. So why do you need a contract? Why are contracts so important? So number one is professional. If you're doing business, 9 times out of 10 you're signing a contract. Think about when you do any type of business, gonna have to sign a contract. It's no different just because you're doing photography. Treat your business as a business. Businesses that you support and go to, treat it exactly the same. Most of the time those people are doing contracts, so you need to have a contract too. Makes you look professional and up to par, and that's like, I'd say, half of the game. It's just looking up to par. Even if you haven't even really arrived and you're not just the best photographer, you still need to look up to par. Look like you know what you're doing, even if you don't know what you're doing. Professionalism is super important. Number two, it protects both parties. So with this contract, not only does it protect you, but it protects your clients. So you may think that clients are kind of scared of contracts, but they like it because it sets those expectations and it protects them just in case anything happens. So it protects both of y'all, not just you, but it's for the clients also. Number three, it outlines client expectations. Y'all have seen me talk about this a lot because it's super important. You have to set those expectations just so your clients know exactly what to expect. Think about if you're doing business and you don't know what to expect. That's not a good look. You're probably not going to go back to that business because they didn't lay out those expectations and you were confused and you didn't know what was going on. So you don't want your clients to feel like that, and that's why you have a contract in place. And number four, it helps with client issues. Listen, we have had some issues, nothing super crazy, but even if you haven't had anything come up, it's gonna come up sooner or later. So you need to prepare yourself and just have everything in place for these situations that come up. Pretty much the contract that's going to help with those issues and help resolve those issues. So all right, so number one, before we get into number one, I wanted to put this little quote: never do work without a contract, even if it's a free shoot. So super key. That's a DJ Khaled major key right there. Even if you're doing free work, you still need to have your client sign that contract. It doesn't matter because it's free. You're still doing work. Stuff can still come up. You may have the client come back and say you can't use the images and stuff like that. The contract is going to save your, I don't want to cuss because how YouTube is, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So even if you're doing free work, make sure you get those clients to sign that contract. Even if it's a free shoot, treat it just like a paid client. All right, so coming in at number one, you have the parties to the contract. So this includes your name and client info. We usually put the location and the date also. So this is pretty much just basic information, with any contract or just kind of paperwork, just basic information that you need. So you want to get your client's name. If you're doing like a wedding, you want to get the bride and the groom, just whoever you're working with, get their names. You could get the email, put the location, the hours. So number two is services. So the services that will be provided, be as detailed as possible. So with this clause right here, we're super detailed. So we're laying out everything that we're doing. Don't even look at it like, oh, I don't want to put too much. No, list everything. Once again, just setting those expectations, and exactly what you're supposed to do, because let's say something happens, then you can refer back to your contract and you have on there the services that you were supposed to provide. Whether the client said you were supposed to do something else, you have it laid out what you were hired to do for that shoot on your contract. So coming in at number three, we have the deliverables. So this is what the client will receive after the shoot. For example, how many photos the client will receive. So once again, you're going to see me say this a lot: setting those expectations. The client needs to know exactly what they're going to get from the shoot. So if they're just getting digitals, just put the digitals. If they're getting prints, you want to put that on there. Any other products, you want to list out, itemize every single thing that they're going to be receiving, just so they have it and they know exactly what they're going to get, and you're covered just in case, the client says, oh, I didn't get this, I was supposed to get it. And listen, those things will come up. We've had situations like that. Not nothing too crazy because we really focus on those expectations, but you just need to let them know exactly what they're going to get. So number 4, we have client usage. So this covers how the client can use the images. You can also cover how you will use the images. So this is pretty much exactly what it says, just how your client, just laying out exactly how your client can use the images, because like I said, you don't know what a client is going to do. Maybe they try to take your work and get paid for it or something like that. So you need to be very specific about what they can do with your images. These are your images, and you need to lay out what they can do with them and what they can't do with them. And like I said, you could also cover what you're going to do with these images. So are you going to use them for marketing? Are you going to try to get them published? It could be anything, just list it out just so the client knows, and you're covered just in case anything comes up. So coming in at number 5 is copyright. This is pretty much just upfront and simple. This clause explains that you own the images. So as a photographer, you have the copyright. They are your images. The client does not own the images. If you took the images, you own them. So if you have a client saying, these are my images, I own them, say no, refer back to the contract. The photographer owns the images. And I have heard about photographers, I guess, selling the copyright. Now they charge a crazy amount because you're handing over, ownership to the images. But this is something that we don't plan on doing. So I have heard about people doing that, but you do own the images. So quick little break right here. Y'all already know the routine. If you're getting value from this video, smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. I'm a smaller channel. It's just a way of helping me out and helping this video get pushed out to more people. So if you're getting value, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get back into the content. So number 6, this is very important. This is the cancellation and refund policy. So explain how and when your clients can cancel, also cover fees and the deposit/retainer. I don't know why I put deposit. I don't like that word. You're supposed to say retainer fees. So I don't know why I put that, but I don't even think we've ever had a cancellation or refund. We've had like reschedules, but not this. But once again, this is something that's gonna come up. It's bound to happen. You need to have a cancellation clause in place, letting your clients know, and protecting yourself just in case a client cancels. I've seen so many stories about clients canceling, just horror stories of stuff just going wrong when the client cancels. So that's why this clause is so important. Like, as far as, do you give the client money back when they cancel, or for the refund? You need to, clarify that in your contract. I'm not 100% sure what our policy is. I would have to look on our contract, but explain like what they get. Explain if it's, the retainer is non-refundable. Very, very important. You need to cover this stuff in your cancellation or your refund policy. So number 7, we have the terms of payment. So this covers how much the client owes, payment schedules, and how they can make payments. So this is pretty much everything, explaining everything when it comes to payments. Like I said, if you're going to we actually do payment schedules for weddings or just like a bigger gig that's a lot. We do offer like flexible payment plans. So we'll list that out in our contract. Very important, because the client can see exactly, how the payments are set up. They need to see this stuff. You could put how much they owe, and just how they can make payments. Like, what do you take? Do you take credit cards, PayPal, or whatever? This is stuff that you want to list as far as payments. And clients will have a lot of questions about payments, so it's important in the contract to kind of outline that so they know what to expect as far as payments. So coming in at number 8, we have the model release. So this is client permission to use their images. Include what you will use the images for, example, ads, website, etc. So Now, another one that's very important. So like I said, it's stating that you can use their images. So imagine doing a shoot and you didn't have the contract in place and now you can't use the images. And you're just starting out, you're a beginner. So you need work to show people. But because you didn't do the back end work, you can't even use the images. Think about it. I'll be destroyed if I'm just starting out and I know I need that work. I know I need to show people what I can do, but I didn't have my contract in place. Now I can't show nobody nothing. All I can show them is my gear and my lens, and they don't even care about that. So you need to have this model release in place so you can use the images. And do not take a client's word for it. People lie. People are crazy out here. If they're like, oh, cool, you could use the images, I don't really care. Don't take their word for it. Have them sign the paperwork so you're covered and you can use those images for your marketing. Like I said, specify what you're going to use the images for too. I think I said that right. Include what you would use the images for. So are you going to use them for ads, websites, your portfolio? Last thing you want is a client coming to you like, oh, I didn't, sign for my image to be used on Facebook for ads. You don't want to be put in that situation. So be specific about what you're going to use the images for. So coming in at number 9, we have editing. So explain what type of editing you do and don't do. Also mention fees for additional editing. Look, y'all, I've seen lots of horror stories. I follow a lot of Facebook groups. I've seen lots of horror stories about editing, and you'd be surprised. Like, sometimes clients, they just look at like your social media work, but you want them to go to your website and like check out your portfolio, especially if you do like weddings. On social media, you're just kind of posting photos here and there. You're not showing like complete albums. So you want them to see your work and see how you edit. And that's something that we even ask clients, like, have you been to our website and seen our work? Just because we want them to get, a better feel for how we edit. Because I've seen people say that clients come back, maybe after the shoot, they ask, can you edit a certain way? Or they say, oh, I didn't know you edited that way. So you need to be specific as possible with this. Explain your editing style. Like I said, explain what you don't do as far as editing. I've seen people say they want, trying to change their body shape and stuff like that. Like, we don't do all that stuff. So, be specific about that. And upfront, once again, send those expectations so they know exactly what they're getting with the editing. And also additional editing, just your fees with that. Because if you get back to work, the client wants this and that, maybe it's going to take you an hour and a half. That's work. So you need to charge for that. We're not out here just doing free stuff and not charging. You need to charge for everything. So that's important. All right, so the last thing, number 10, is late arrivals and no-shows. And I'm trying to think, have we had no-shows? I don't think we haven't had no-shows, but we definitely had late clients. That's something you're definitely going to experience. So cover what happens when these things come up. Examples: late clients will lose that time for their from their sessions. So this is something that we do. I know a lot of photographers do it. So if the client is late, that time is taken from their session. So let's say the session is an hour and 30 minutes. They're 30 minutes late. Okay, so we only have an hour to shoot. And I think that's fair. Clients need to respect your time. This is something that me and my wife don't play this. We had, a couple situations where we were at the location just waiting and, sending the client text messages. They're not responding. And, we're just sitting there waiting, and that's not cool. That shouldn't be happening to anybody. People need to respect your time. And this is why we do the retainer up front. So it's usually like half of our full session fee. So because it lets you know if people are serious, and if, money is invested, people are going to take you more serious and they're going to show up on time. So that's a whole nother video. I'm freaking hitting my mic. That's a whole nother video, but looking forward to making a video about that, because it's something that kind of helped us out a lot and kind of shut down a lot of that BS. You know what I'm saying? So all right, so if you need a software to send contracts to your clients and to have them sign them digitally, have them in one place, I talked about this before on the channel, but you should definitely check out Shoeproof. I have a link in the description. So this handles like all the business stuff for our photography business. So contracts, sending payments, invoices, email marketing, sending galleries. Shootproof is an all-in-one software to help you run your business. And honestly, we could not run our business without Shootproof. And I just absolutely love them. If you want to check them out, this can really help you out with the contracts and making sure that you have those in place and you get those to your clients and signing them. So I highly recommend checking out Shootproof. So just check them out. Like I said, link is in the description. And also check out my free guide, 5 ways to get more clients. So if you're struggling to get clients, with this whole COVID thing, the struggle is real out here. I talked about this in one of my recent videos. This can give you some ideas and help you out. Or maybe you're just a beginner trying to get started and get those clients rolling in. Definitely check out my free guide. Link is in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every single week. I will see you on my next video. Peace.